Why does America lead the world in obesity? I guess you could just ask it very simply, why is America so fat? That's today's quick hitter. Hey, awesome to have you with me today. I know this is a little different type of video. This is not going to be the norm, but I wanted to be able to share my screen and things like that today. So we want to go over a little bit about obesity in America and why this is actually important. Did you know that the United States or Western culture is the #1 nation on the planet in obesity? We are the fattest nation in the world, and it's not even close. It's really quite disturbing. If we are to ever get into a war, and it looks like honestly we could at any time with Russia or China, or we could get in a war with North Korea or Iran or any combination of those countries, we are not going to be ready. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to my friend Pete Garcia, and he said that if America gets into a war, and you have to remember, Pete was a soldier for a long time. He said if we're ever to get into a war, he said he believes they will institute the draft, and it doesn't matter if you are fat or skinny or whatever you are going to go over, they're going to put a rifle in your hand, and you're going to be a bullet stopper. So, it would behoove the United States to get in shape. Now, I want to show you a video, and I'm just going to put it up on the screen here. I'm going to show you a video of the Chinese health minister. If you haven't seen this, this is pretty amazing. This guy went to an elementary school, stopped in, and showed the kids how it's done. Now, remember, this guy is 63 years old. He's not 33. He's 63. Watch this. Now that's pretty shocking, isn't it? I mean, you're talking about a 63-year-old man was able to do unbelievable gymnastics on that playground bar. Now, I want to show you the Western culture, United States health minister. I want you to see the different health ministers in the Western society, and I'm just going to show them to you by pictures. So watch this. That's pretty shocking in and of itself, but I'm going to show you my screen now, and let's take a look at, on the CDC website, the adult obesity facts, and this is pretty shocking. Obesity is a common, serious, and costly disease. It says the U.S. obesity prevalence was 41.9% in 2017 through March 2020. Now, I have to tell you, these figures, from what I could see, because of the COVID pandemic and everybody staying in their homes and everybody getting to the point where they were inactive, are closer to 49.9% from what I could find. Now, watch this. From 1999 to 2000 through 2017 and March of 2020, U.S. obesity prevalence increased from 30.5 to 41.9 during the same time frame. The prevalence of severe obesity increased from 4.7 to 9.2%. Guys, that's insane. Obesity-related conditions include heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancer. These are among the leading causes of preventable premature death. Right? So here we see that this is a serious problem. The pandemic in America is not COVID. It's being obese. One website that I found literally said this: there are many theories about why America is so obese, but it breaks down to two things. And this was the the Einstein that came up with this. Number one, too much food. Number two, a lack of exercise.
Well,
Well,
that's
that's
a
a
huge
huge
duh.
duh. But I want you to see something real quickly. Let's go over to childhood obesity in the United States. Now, it's one thing for your adults to be obese, and it's because you've had a lifetime of being lazy and fat and poor exercise habits, poor eating habits, and you become obese, right? Now, when it comes to children, that means that we are starting kids off and we are glutting them with food and zero exercise. Look at this. Childhood obesity is a serious problem in the United States, putting children and adolescents at risk for poor health. Duh, this is the CDC, of course. For children and adolescents aged 2 to 19 years in 2017 through 2020, the same years, right? The prevalence of obesity was 19.7 and affected about 14.7 million children and adolescents. Now, again, that number is much higher now. Obesity prevalence was 12.7% among 2 to 5 year olds, 20.7% among 6 to 11 year olds. Now, that makes sense. When kids are between 2 and 5, they're very active typically. They're typically, mom and dads are new at this. They're taking them out to the playgrounds. They're doing different things. But if you go out to the playgrounds now, you don't see a lot of kids out there anymore. You don't see a lot of parents having patience with that. And a lot of that is because we're so busy, we don't have time for our kids anymore. And we would rather babysit them by setting them in front of a computer or letting them sit in their rooms, eat and snack while they watch TV, being unsupervised, which I think is a serious problem in America. Now, look at this. In 22.2% obesity rate among 12 to 19-year-olds, childhood obesity is also more common among certain populations. Now, watch this. Obesity prevalence was 26.2 among Hispanic children, 24.8% among non-Hispanic black children, and 16.6 among non-Hispanic white children, and 9% among non-Hispanic Asian children. Those things make you think, don't they? They make you wonder what in the world is going on in Western culture. What is happening in our families? Well, the first place, we don't want the nuclear family anymore. Everything in Western culture is designed to destroy the nuclear family. Everything in our current administration and the world in general, except for countries like China and Russia and other countries like that, which hold to more traditional values, sorry to say, right? But the white or let's put it this way, but the Western society has lost their mind. I mean, we're talking about a society that the most important thing is inclusion. When the three top companies in the world have a greater GDP than all countries except for China and the United States, and those companies, BlackRock, those three companies, and forgive me for not remembering the other two, but when those companies are pushing this inclusion and they control almost every corporation in America, then every corporation in America will fall in line because we now live in what is called a technocracy. And so this is all flowing down from this worldview that has gone woke, this worldview that considers transgenderism the most important thing on the planet, and literally they talk about wanting to destroy the nuclear family, then that is a serious problem. And so all of this stuff comes from the top down and it just bleeds down into the culture. Now watch this map that I'm going to show you right now. This map is pretty interesting. These are, by what this map says, the overall obesity or the prevalence of self-reported obesity among U.S. adults by state and territories. Now, this is something because if you look at your darker areas, 45 to 50%, you will see that Kentucky and West Virginia hold the records for people that are obese in that country. Now, you will also see that some of your other states, run between 30 and 35%, Georgia being one of those. Now, Florida is non-reported, which I find interesting because when you go down to Florida and you get onto the beaches and stuff, man, everybody down there is overweight. It's pretty sad and pretty disgusting at the same time. So it looks like most of the country sits in that 30 to 35% rate. Now, you have a large portion of the country as well that sits in that 35 to 40% rate. Everything from Texas to North Carolina, South Carolina to North Dakota. And then, of course, you have your 25 to 30% rate. California, Washington, Colorado, New York, those right in there. Now, again, the 50 plus looks like there's only smidgens of that out in Alaska, I believe that is. So why that is, I'm guessing it's because they have very long winters and they eat a lot out there. So anyway, this is a serious, serious problem. When you look at the Chinese war machine propaganda, and I'll show it to you just a second, you see where the problem really lies. Watch this video.
我们已经习惯达到。王局，到！专利动员大会现在开始。一声到，是一句承诺。军长同志，一方前准备完毕，请指示。什么？战！一声到，是一种割舍。一声到。 是一次重塑。海上、空中、陆上各作战机群已修订完善作战计划。一声到，是一场冲锋。 用生命扛起使命，我们用忠诚筑起长城，改革强军征途如虹。
历史告诉我们，改革创新与时俱进，是人民军队不断发展的康庄大道。 人民军队的力量来自改革创新，人民军队的胜利来自改革创新。
祖国召唤，我必到。一声到，一声到。
Now, I want you to look at our video of what is most important to us. You can see that China is out there making men. Russia is making men. More traditional countries where they have a husband, a wife, and children, the nuclear family, they are out there making men. Men, women, they have their roles. It doesn't mean that men rule over women or women over men. It's just our roles are different. And so when you have that, you have a strong traditional value and you have the backbone of a country. And what you're seeing now in Western culture, Western society, is the decay of America. And I believe this is not just decay. I believe it is a purposeful self-destruction by the globalists, the World Economic Forum, the current administration. It is all leading into a narrative. And if you listen to them, they will tell you the great narrative is this, and they give you their narrative, and they call themselves the elite. And the elite, of course, are the ones who want to rule the world. Remember, you are nothing more than a serf. You are going to be a slave. You will be put into 15-minute cities in various places in this country. There will be geofences around there. You will not be allowed to go outside of that 15-minute city, but so many times in a year. Otherwise, you'll be fined, or they will turn off your finances, because we are going to a global digital currency at some point. Remember, just the other day, out of nowhere, Brazil announced that their digital currency was live, it was active, and it was just like that. We are going there soon. Watch this when it comes to China and their military. Now again, watch ours and tell me what you think.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems. It begins in California, with a little girl raised by two moms. Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again. But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet, eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women. But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been handed so much in life, a sorority girl stereotype. Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women, but what had I really achieved on my own? One of my sorority sisters was studying abroad in Italy. Another was climbing Mount Everest. I needed my own adventures, my own challenge. And after meeting with an Army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
You see, the Western culture is in decline. There's no doubt about it. There is every indication that the United States is nowhere found in Bible prophecy. And so, given the fact that it is still the preeminent superpower, something has to happen to America. And we'll be talking to multiple prophecy teachers about this, but you need to understand all of this planned destruction of America, all of this obesity, all of this stuff is all tied in together. Now, this is so important because I believe that we will be going into what are called climate lockdowns here pretty soon. We have the COVID lockdown, the World Economic Forum, and the globalists, the United Nations, the World Health Organization, all of them found out they could lock everybody down all at once and they could get away with it. Now they're pushing the climate agenda, and it is a religion, and they're going to tell you that they have to move you into 15-minute cities so they can let all of the plants grow all over the world, and so that we can bring the earth back, because this is earth worship. This is the worship of Gaia, make no mistake about it. And they have all these sustainable goals that they want done and accomplished by 2030, and they are going to start pushing it. The fires in Hawaii, that feeds into their agenda. There's a lot of controversy about what happened there. Hear me out. And all of this stuff, I believe, is purposeful. And all of this stuff is designed to move you into a slavery lifestyle to the elites while they eat, while they fly all over the world and do all of these things. They want you to be in your 15-minute city. They're going to give you a credit card that they can turn off. You're going to have a bank account that they can turn off and they can control. They don't want you eating meat anymore. They want you eating bugs, all of these things. It's all tied in. Guys, they do not care about you. This is a satanic agenda, whether you think so or not, whether you think I'm a conspiracy theorist or not. What I'm telling you is true. And there will be a day where you will remember this video and you will say, doggone, Jeff was right. Now, in closing, let me tell you this. I want you to drive around and see all of the different storage facilities that are going up everywhere. And I'm talking about massive storage facilities. This is all the way on a local level. You think this isn't going to affect you? Yes, it is. We go throughout our city and we are seeing these massive multifamily homes. We used to call them apartment complexes, but now they're not just apartment complexes. They're massive, massive centers where they are just, huge. And right near these massive single-family homes, or multifamily homes, they are putting these huge or massive storage facilities where people can store their stuff. So they are moving everybody like China into these massive multifamily homes. They will be putting all of the entertainment stuff around there to keep you entertained, to keep you to where you don't think you're miserable. They're going to try to get it to where you only have an electric car, and they can cut that off too if they want to. Or they're going to bring in some form of mass transportation for everybody. But all of this stuff is an agenda, and it's all designed to take the Western culture out. Now, we recently went to what I believe, and there are a couple of them. There are an example of 15-minute cities over in the city of Atlanta. Everything is right there. Everybody lives in this little area, and all of your playtime, all of your entertainment time, your movies, your bowling alley, all of that stuff is right there, right? What they're doing is they're moving you to the Great Reset, the agenda that says you will own nothing and be happy. Guys, it's a lie from the pit of hell, and today what I just showed you is true. Now watch this. Let's just go, in case you're wondering, let's look at 15-minute cities, and I'm doing this so you can just see real quickly what we're talking about. Go to images, 15-minute cities, and lo and behold, look at what you find. You find 15-minute city stuff everywhere. What is a 15-minute city? What is the new thing in America? These are going to be areas where it's a 15-minute city where you will be held. Now, so far, look at this. U.S. cities ranked 11 through 25 of 15-minute cities metrics. Now, I don't see where number 1 through 11 is. Let me see. Let's see. So there's all kinds of this stuff. It's everywhere. Now, what is a 15-minute city? A 15-minute city, again, look at this. On the Financial Times, it tells you what a 15-minute city is. As the switch to home working makes us balk at the back and forth of commuting, a new vision of urban living is emerging. This is for your good, right? This is so you will be happy. Guys, that is not true. Listen to what it says. When a plague tore through Milan in the 1570s, everything had to change. So what they're doing is they're creating a problem. They did that with COVID. Oh, we have this horrible problem. And they already had the solution ready. That's called the Hegelian dialectic. You see, they create a problem, then they have a solution already waiting in the wings, so that they can rush in and tell you we have the answer to this problem that they made, so that you will trust them, and then they take your freedom away. The 15-minute idea is based on research into how city dwellers' use of time could be reorganized to improve both living conditions and the environment. Did you hear that? They want to improve your living conditions based on what they want for you, not what you want for you. So you will have no more freedom and no more free will to live as you want. And they want to affect the environment. This religion of climate, the climate religion is out there. And I'm telling you, it's real. It's Gaia worship. And I'm telling you now, this is where the new lockdowns are going to start coming. They're going to start saying that we have to lock people down because we're the reason the world is burning. Don't believe it. This is all prophetic. It's all in the Bible, and it's all coming to an end. Do your research. Tell me what you think about this. Hit me up in the comments below. Tell me if you think I'm crazy. Tell me if you think what I'm telling you is the truth. But like, subscribe, and share. Thank you guys for coming in. This is not the normal thing we'll be doing, but this is today's quick hitter.